Thank you for those beautiful words. Am I coming through okay? You can hear me? I see nods. Okay. Um, so I just thought I would do something that I've never done before, which is show you that probably my most precious document, which is that I was actually ordained by Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi of blessed memory, who was a really big leader, what you would call a big rabbi or a rebbe, to be a drummer. And he ordained me the way you would ordain a rabbi or a cantor. He actually ordained me to be the first drummer in 2,000 years, and this is his ordination document. And I just thought I would read it to you so you know who is speaking. Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi, let all who need to know what with this certificate, Akiva the Believer, may he have light and be may he have life and be a light. Akiva has labored for a number of years as a guide and inspiration to those souls filled with joy and prayer by accompaniment in rhythm with drums and cymbals to improve the experience of the service of the hearts of the participants, in witness of which I bestow upon him the title of great honor, Commander of the Drum. May he conduct with the care, respect, and overflowing love of the Most High. May it be God's will that the Holy Temple be rebuilt swiftly in our times, that the Creator will destroy the Levites to their song, and Rav Akiva will be, with God's blessing, the leader of the drummers section in the orchestra of the Third Temple. To this I give witness, and so on and so on. So that's a tall order, but I take it seriously, and so that's part of what I'm doing today, is trying to spread some of this. Because as it was said in the introduction, we've heard prayers that were written by opera type composers, classical composers, rock stars, folkies. This era seems to be an era when drummers are coming to the fore. Drum circles are everywhere, and people are discovering the benefits of drumming. And it occurred to me that drummers should start writing prayers, because we hear music and we feel spirituality a little differently than, say, an opera type or a classical musician would, because rhythm is such an important part. So I thought I would speak about when drummers write prayers. I want to start by asking the question, what is a prayer? And everybody has their own idea. I thought a good definition is an intentional set of reactions beyond the boundaries of the self. We move beyond the self into the beyond. Now, the beyond can be God, it can be sacred universe, human community, people we love, our ancestors, our deepest selves, or simply something larger than the ordinary in which we spend most of our day. I want to make it very clear that I am in no way soliciting anyone to become Jewish. As a matter of fact, we Jews are prohibited from any kind of outreach to non-Jews. If someone comes to one of us and says, I'd like to become a Jew, we are supposed to say, no, no thank you, 3 times, and to say it with seriousness. We're not looking for converts. And so I want to make that very clear. It speaks to my heart, and so I will be using metaphors and words that are Jewish, but that's just because I'm a Jew. Someone who's a Christian or a Muslim would use different words, but I think the principles would apply to any spiritual path. And that's really important, that you understand that just because I'm using Jewish words and so forth, it doesn't mean that I'm trying to inculcate anything. So it's very important that we set one idea, that prayer does not have to be words. It can be a drum beat. It can be a heartbeat. It can even be silence. And so that means that the definition of a prayer is a little different than what you might be used to. So let's stop a little bit and ask, what is drumming? So creation of rhythm through direct physical contact between the human body and an instrument, there's almost a violent quality to it. When I take my hand and I hit a drum beat, that's different than stroking a guitar or playing on a keyboard. It's very powerful. Whenever I teach drummers, I always have a spot in my classes where I say to the drummers, has there ever been a time in your life for which drumming was very healing? And 100% of drummers raise their hand and say yes, and they tell all kinds of stories. There's something healing for some people, not everybody, but for some people, drumming is a very healing experience. And so when they write a prayer, they're reaching for that healing experience. And we are looking to bring out the rhythms inside of us into the prayer. One of the things that drummers are well known for is call and response. Not all drummers and not only drummers, but it is something that we do a lot of. When we are leading a drum circle, I will very often start a chant that comes to me in that moment and invite people to chant with me as we drum. For example, I do this very often, and you can do it at home if you want. I teach people that the first note of any drum is the dum. That's the dum sound. It's the major sound of the drum. If you bring your hand to the surface, it's a harsher sound. Dum, tack, dum, tack, dum, tack. And then I say dum, dum, tack. This is a real rhythm. Dum, dum, tack. Wait a minute. We know this rhythm. We will bless you. We will bless you. And I use this rhythm all the time. I have a whole, you may have heard of Passover. There's a book that's called the Haggadah. It's filled with this. Every time we do a blessing, like wash your hands, don't leave a trace, no disgracing, and we will bless you. And when I do that, all the teenagers start singing along with us, where normally they're off in a corner talking and very bored, and when are we going to eat? But when they hear Queen, they all come along, and a lot of the adults now, because they all were around for that time. But that's an example of where a rhythm that's sort of in our DNA comes out and can be used as a prayer. And that people find that to be very surprising. So let me show you what happens when a drummer writes a prayer and some of the call and response. So I've written 3 prayer books. They're all here, all my prayers. And they are sung by people everywhere, and I'm very honored that they do. So here is the beginning of one of my prayers. And I'm going to pause, so if you are muted, you can say this at home. Every living being is a pounding drum. You sing. Every living being is a pounding drum. We'll do it again. Every living being is a pounding drum. Every living being is a pounding drum. And right in the center of every creature, right in the center of every creature is the most important feature, is the most important feature. The rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm, the heartbeat. The rhythm, the rhythm, the rhythm, the heartbeat. Now where do you think you get this rhythm? 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 You get it from God in the beginning. You get it from God in the beginning. When God made Adam on that beautiful morn, he lifted up his heart and he blew, and there was a spark, and this holy rhythm was born. Can you feel it, feel it, feel this beat? Feel it, feel it, this is God's beat. Feel it, feel it, feel God's beat, pounding deep in you, pushing you to be you. It is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah. The rhythm of God is the rhythm of love. Rhythm of love is the rhythm of life, and the rhythm of life is 2 heartbeats. Now that is a prayer that no folk person would ever write, or a classical person. That is a drummer's prayer, and you can hear all that rhythm in there, all that back and forth, and there's something about it. You kind of bob your head, you tap your feet. It's a different universe. So there is a kind of a contradictory part of drumming. On the one hand, it's calming, it's healing. On the other thing, it's energizing, and it makes us want to get up and dance or whatever. So why is that? Well, it has to do with pulse. Pulse goes underneath everything. It's that thing, that pulse, and it can be a very fast pulse, it can be a very slow pulse, but that pulse goes on. Where you hear it really strongly is in First Americans or Native Americans or Indians, whatever word you want to use. They do pulsing. They do this thing. It's like, okay. Now what they are doing when they do that, that is called an entrainment. And what they are doing is they are putting themselves into trance. Trance is an altered state. And drumming can bring you into a trance. When Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi gave me my smicha, he said, I want you to learn about different kinds of trance, alpha, theta, and so on. Because when we pray, we can put people into trance. And that is when you can kind of reach to another state. And that is very different than the normal sort of aims of prayer. Because when you put people in trance, they go on their own journey. They find things. They get wisdom. They get messages. And sometimes afterwards, I ask people what happened, and I get the most incredible answers. You know, there were sharks swimming through my house. I was riding on the back of an eagle, on and on and on. And it's amazing where people go when they are in trance. But this pulse is very, very crucial. It synchronizes with the rhythms, and that's how we go into this place. And not only that, it creates community because we're doing it together, and that is so important. And there are some rules that I teach drummers. I always tell them, never start with the rhythm. Let the people start with their own words, with their own chant, with their own prayer. And you slip in very quietly, and then you bring in that pulse. It's very different than when I play with a rock band or a jazz band or funk or whatever, because there the drumming is much louder and it's much more up there. But when you're drumming to people at prayer, you are supporting what they're doing. You are lifting it in a very subtle way. That is, I think, why Reb Zalman decided to give me this ordination, because he realized that what I was doing was not just banging along with the people who were praying, but I was really redefining what drumming is when people are at prayer. So we are entraining the body. So let me show you from one of my here. Okay, so again, this is a Jewish word, but don't let that fool you, or don't let that distract you. It's called Tikkun Olam, which is Hebrew for healing the world. So you can say it in English too. So this is a prayer about healing the world. And it's, again, it is a call and response. And I will, you can do it at home, but just listen. I mean, I do this in synagogues. I do this when people are at prayer. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, sound of a drum. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, tribal drum. Hailing drum, hailing drum, save the sea where we come from. Hailing drum, hailing drum, save the forests where we all come from. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, sound of a drum. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, tribal drum. Hailing drum, hailing drum, save the mountains where we come from. Hailing drum, hailing drum, save the desert where we all come from. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, sound of a drum. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, tribal drum. Stop the killing, stop the pain, stop the spilling again and again. Stop the killing, stop the pain, stop the spilling again and again. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, sound of a drum. Tikkun olam, tikkun olam, heal the world, tribal drum. So when I was doing that hailing drum, thank you, hailing drum, so that is reggae. And if you hear that, that is the Nyabingi beat. That comes from the Nyabingi people, and that is the heartbeat. And that's all over the world. All drummers everywhere do that. That's and reggae has that in it. When it's the guitar players, chuck-cut, 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 they call it chanking, and the drummer plays only on beat 3, where it's very unusual because normally we have beat 1, the downbeat, and then 3, the other downbeat. But in reggae, there's no 1. That's why it's called the 1 drop. They drop the 1 right out, and so it's back get boom, back get boom, back get. 1, 3, 1, 3. So what you're hearing is a really weird rhythm, but when you hear Bob Marley sing, it just sounds so amazing. And one of the extraordinary things about Bob Marley was that he was literally doing spiritual songs that appeared to most people to be pop songs, but they were really very, very spiritual. And that reggae rhythm really worked a lot in his lifetime. So I would say that these kind of prayers are an experience. You live them. You go inside them. They go inside you. Before human beings had any theology, they had rhythm. And before we could speak, we had a heartbeat. So this is why this is so primal and it's so universal. Most religions in the West say that life for us started when God started us breathing. A drummer would say that we began our lives when God started our hearts beating, which is a little different. And so this is God's beat. This is God's rhythm. It's the heartbeat. So that's what I was singing before. Can you feel it? Feel it? Feel this beat. Feel it? Feel it? This is God's beat. Feel it? Feel it? Feel this beat pounding deep into you, pushing you to be you. It is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So only a drummer could write a prayer like that. So I'm going to give you just two more, or three more short little quotes from prayers, so you can hear how drummers write prayers, and you'll just start to hear it. I am a Jew by birth, and I know that is worth more than every jewel on this earth. I yearn to live in light, and I'll learn to do what's right as I live my life on this earth. Here I stand, yad in hand, hineni, sanctify me. Here I stand, yad in hand, may the lifting light of Torah help me understand. A yad is the thing that we point to when we read from the Torah. Hineni means I am here. So here I stand, yad in hand, hineni, sanctify me. Here I stand, yad in hand, may the lifting light of Torah help me understand. I am a Jew by choice, and that gives me a voice to chant from Torah just like you. A Jew by choice is a convert. I yearn to live in light, and I'll learn to do what's right as I live my whole life through. Here I stand, yad in hand, hineni, sanctify me. Here I stand, yad in hand, may the lifting light of Torah help me understand. Okay, thank you. Now, page 68.
Maybe we can do one more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must be running a little bit late.
What would you say? Yeah, a couple minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do a last example, and then that really is the end of my talk, actually. Humans, humans, humans unite. Take a look around you. Things are not right. Many different candles, there's only one light. Humans, humans, humans unite. Look how many years we're battling one another. Faith against faith, brother against brother. Don't they all teach us how to forgive? When we gonna get it right? Live and let live. Humans, humans, humans unite. Take a look around you, things are not right. Many different candles, there's only one light. Humans, humans, humans unite. We're one great family with many great souls. Every faith is precious, part of the whole. Every faith is holy, God has many songs. Everybody's right, nobody's really wrong. There's room for me, there's room for you, for Baptists, atheists, Jains, and Jews. There's room for me, there's room for you, for Methodists, Muslims, and Hindus. There's room for us, there's room for the others. It's time to learn to live with one another. Humans, humans, humans unite. Take a look around you, things are not right. There's many different candles, there's only one light. Humans, humans, humans unite. So that concludes my little talk, and you get an idea of what a drummer's prayer would sound like.